Welcome to a very windy Mercedes-Benz Grand Prix circuit in East London. It's round 2 of the Vodacom Sports Prototype Championship for 2002. 16 cars have made it onto the grid, and unlike the previous round, all of them are now fitted with their brand new 3.5-litre V6 Nissan Infinity engines. Bernard Talanis has pole position ahead of Neil Lobb, Donovan Roscoe and Francois Gerber, with 1 second covering the top 6 on the grid.
So is pole position the place to be?
No, I don't think pole is the position to be with this wind today down the main straight and down through Rifle down to Cochabana. Could land up being 3rd or 4th down there, so I'm going to have to be a little bit defensive to make sure that I'm still first at that point.
You've got a lot of hungry drivers behind you as well.
Absolutely, they're all going to want to be first. So we're going to see what's going to happen.
We will indeed. Bernard Talanis leads the field around Beacon Bend on the parade lap, waiting for the starters' orders to set them off on this race over 10 laps of this classic Grand Prix circuit. Looking back from the car of pole position man Bernard Talanis, he's on the inside and he gets a good getaway. So now the tactics come into play as Neil Lobb in second position tries to get as close to the race leader as possible. Going up to Potter's Pass now, Francois Gerber just behind us. As we look back, there is Donovan Roscoe as well. The cars are now building up to top speed. They go into Rifle Range Bend and then accelerate still until top speed of about 260, 270 kilometers an hour. Look at how close is Neil Lobb to race leader Bernard Talanis, but he's held it into Cochabana corner for the first time. Dave Beattie goes down the inside of Alan Eve. He's a bit of a nudge there. The cars are still very close to each other. Now into the complex. The first corner there is called Gate Bend. Then they go through Cox and the S's, the sweep, and then the beach straight to complete the lap around Beacon Bend for the first time. Neil Lobb still right there behind race leader Bernard Talanis as they go into the complex for the first time. The top 5 cars already breaking away. It's Dave Beattie leading the rest of the field. Number 7, that's Colin Frost in the blue and red car chasing Melville Priestley. And Dave Beattie goes off the track there as they go through the sweep. Oh, and there's a problem at the back there. That looks like Terry Voller, and Clive Kennelly goes into him. Somebody else goes wide as well. Alan Green, I think, is involved there as well. Race leader comes across the line. It's Bernard Talanis. So 2 cars involved in that accident just on the first lap into the back straight. And there's some damage to the rear wing of Trevor Frost's car. So the race order, Bernard Talanis from Neil Lobb, then Francois Gerber, Tony Trotsky is in 4th place, Donovan Roscoe in 5th, Alan Eve, Colin Frost, there he is, and there is Trevor Frost. That car's rear wing is very skewy, is not going to have any downforce as we go back to the battle for the lead. Down the inside comes Neil Lobb into Cochabana, pulls right next to Bernard Talanis. Has he made it? No, he just doesn't have the drive. Bernard Talanis holds onto his lead, but only just. There's a problem ahead of them. That car of Terry Voller is still parked inside in the middle of the track with Terry Voller stuck inside the car. We see some waved yellow flags just off screen at the moment, but this race should have been stopped. This is a very dangerous situation as they go through the complex for the second time. Talanis from Lobb, Gerber and Trotsky. There's Francois Gerber, former champion, in 3rd place. He's getting close to Neil Lobb. Looking back from Neil Lobb's cars, they go through the sweep. The wave yellow flags are there. Tony Trotsky has got nowhere else to go. He smashes into the back of Terry Voller's car. And this can be extremely serious. Scattered all over the place, the wreckage of both cars. And the cars behind them coming to a stop. This race will be stopped, there's no question about it. Red flags are out, so on the second lap, this race is stopped. Let's have another look at that. Here comes the race leader, Terry Voller's car in the middle of the track. And as you can see, Tony Trotsky has absolutely nowhere to go. He's blindsided as he tries to avoid the slowing 3 ahead of him. And unfortunately for him, he smashes right into the back of Terry Voller's car. Here's another look. And this is a frightening scene. He moves out, as you can see, and Terry Voller must have been absolutely terrified in that car, as he knew that something like this was going to happen, but they had to stop the race. The restart now, and it's a brand new race, although it has been decided that it will run over only 8 laps. Neil Lobb still in 2nd place as they go through Potter's Pass. Francois Gerber behind him. Race leader is still Bernard Talanis. The field is somewhat thinned out after that earlier accident. Only 11 cars left in this race. Unfortunately, both Terry Voller and Tony Trotsky are okay, although both the cars are very, very seriously damaged, and they will not take any part in today's action. But the action it is indeed as Bernard Telanes still leads Neil Lobb. Francois Gerber getting closer into the complex again. Now they're going into gate. Alan Eve is dropping back somewhat in fourth. Then Colin Frost in a good fifth place and Donovan Roscoe in sixth place. Donovan Roscoe has just lost out on Alan Green. Alan Green has gone past, so Donovan Roscoe may have a problem. He's got Dave Beattie on his tail as well. But this is the battle of the race. Neil Lobb in second place. Francois Gerber in third. They're going through the cement dust that's left after that earlier accident in that corner. And Telanes is defending. He is defending for all he's worth as Neil Lobb has got the bit between the teeth. Going through Beacon Bend to complete the lap, and the race order remains the same. Lap 4 out of 8, and still it's Bernard Telanes from Neil Lobb, and Alan Eve has gone into third place ahead of Francois Gerber. Bernard Telanes is under some serious pressure from Neil Lobb, and I think that Telanes has just made a mistake there. Neil Lobb has got a good run out of Kochabana, is down the inside, going into Gate Bend, and he moves across, and Telanes is off the track. Gets a bit of a nudge there from Neil Lobb. I think Lobb may just have braked a little bit too late there, but Bernard Telanes will be absolutely livid with this situation. He was leading the race. Neil Lobb muscles his way into the lead, and Bernard Telanes will drop back substantially down the order as he rejoins just ahead of Richard Wood. Here comes our new race leader. It's Neil Lobb from Alan Eve and Francois Gerber, and there's a huge gap to the man in fourth place, and that is Donovan Roscoe ahead of Dave Beattie. There is Colin Frost, then Alan Green, and Trevor Frost just behind him. And there comes Bernard Telanes, who's trying to make up for that earlier incident, and he will certainly have some words to speak to Neil Lobb when they eventually meet up at the end of this race. But now the race has settled down into somewhat of a pattern, and Telanes seemingly without any serious damage. But here comes Francois Gerber, has a look. He's not quite close enough to Alan Eve to challenge for that second place, although he does give him a bit of a nudge. And Neil Lobb on his... Oh, and Colin Frost has a problem. Stops right on the outside of Beacon Bend. That's the final corner of the lap. That kind of very precarious situation there as Neil Lobb begins to pull away from his pursuers. Francois Gerber has a look down the inside again, but Alan Eve closes the door in his face. Getting towards the final stages of the race now. Neil Lobb well on his way to his first sprint race victory. Remember, he had a joint victory with Clive Kennelly last year in a 2-hour race at Pekiza. And Neil Lobb will be very, very happy with this result if it does come to pass. Now they're coming up to the spot where Colin Frost's car is. And Neil Lobb takes the inside line. I have a feeling that we may just see another red flag because there's nobody close to that. Yes, indeed, the race has been stopped and sufficient distance has been run already. So Neil Lobb takes his victory. The result will stand as they come to a rest just behind the start-finish line. As we confirm the results for you, Neil Lobb takes his first victory ahead of Alan Eve, Francois Gerber, Donovan Roscoe, Dave Beattie and Bernard Telanes recovers to 6th position.
Neil, I must ask you, did Bernard jump or was he pushed?
I think he was pushed, to be honest, yeah. He made a mistake coming out of Kochabana, and I'd let him get away with a mistake the lap before. And I ran up next to him coming on the inside into the stadium, but left my brake in too late. I locked up and I couldn't turn, so unfortunately he went off.
You must be rather delighted with the result, though.
I am, I'm thrilled. I'm sorry about making Bernard run wide there, but I really, really am. I've been trying long and hard, and finally it's happened, so I'm really, really chuffed.
Tony, that is a very, very bent racing car.
Jonathan, yes, unfortunately, and I'm a very sad man at this stage.
What happened?
Second lap, I passed Donovan down the main straights, and what apparently happened is that two cars, Terry Voller and Clive Kennelly, touched each other in the sweep, and their cars were stationed. We didn't know about it, and coming around on the second lap, as I entered into the bowl, into the bowl, it was actually flying, and I was right underneath Francois Gerber's wing, and I saw them slowing down. And as I pulled out to avoid an accident, Terry Voller was right in front of me there, and I just went straight into him.
Both of them very lucky to escape. Not the car, though. That's a very second-hand looking VSP. And he will have to explain to the car's owner, Paul Keats, exactly what happened. All set for race 2 over 10 laps. Here in East London, still the wind is blowing, and still the wind is going to have an effect on this race. As we look back from Alan Eve, who started second, but he seemingly had a bad start as cars wash around him, going up to Potter's Pass for the first time. It is Neil Lobb from Francois Gerber in third place. Bernard Talanis, a great start. Bernard Talanis just ducks down the inside, moves up into a second position past Francois Gerber. There is Dave Beattie down the inside of Alan Eve, who's dropped back from second place, and he is down into fifth position at the moment. Further back, right at the back of the field, in fact, it is Trevor Frost is under pressure from Melville Priest. Goes down the inside in Cochabana and takes that position. Trevor Frost had his rear fixed after that earlier incident in that first race. As we look back from Alan Eve to Donovan Roscoe into gate for the first time. Francois Gerber has a look down the inside. Oh, he's outbraked himself. Just a little nudge there as he goes straight on in gate corner. And Talanis says thank you very much. And he goes into second place. And Francois Gerber drops down. He's just ahead of Alan Green, who's well placed high up the order in this race. A good start from Alan Green, who is a business partner to both Terry Voller and Neil Lobb, the man who's leading the race at the moment. And he's opened up a bit of a gap over Bernard Talanis. There is Alan Eve in third place. Francois Gerber has dropped down to fourth. Then comes Alan Green, and just behind him, Richard Wood is under serious pressure from Melville Priest, the man in the black Haviland car, trying to make up some places earlier on in the race. Neil Lobb, a good advantage over second place man Bernard Talanis at this moment. 4 laps into the race, the 2 race leaders are broken away. Neil Lobb, Bernard Talanis, Alan Eve and Francois Gerber just behind them, battling it out for third place. Then a huge gap to Alan Green in fifth position. Richard Wood is in sixth. Then comes Melville Priest. There's Dave Beattie. Then Trevor Frost. And right at the back is Donovan Roscoe. He had a spin a little bit earlier on, and he's got a huge mountain to climb to get through this group of cars. Dave Beattie has a look down the inside of Melville Priest. Priest closes the door in his face. So a fine battle at the back of the field, but at the front things have changed. It is Bernard Talanis has got into the lead past Neil Lobb, unfortunately off camera, but that must have been a move just on the exit of Beacon Bend. So Talanis takes the lead from Neil Lobb, and the battle for third still continues between Alan Eve and Francois Gerber, but Neil Lobb is not going to take this one lying down. Here's the battle further down the field. That is Dave Beattie. This is Richard Wood under pressure from Donovan Roscoe, has made his way past Trevor Frost already. So Donovan Roscoe is on a roll, and I saw some, I think a piece of paper, or a piece of plastic maybe, from the back wing of Richard Wood's car. That may just affect the aerodynamics on that car as race leader Bernard Talanis moves across to take the racing line through Potter's Pass. Neil Lobb is dropping back somewhat. Alan Eve is closing in. Francois Gerber as well. Here is Alan Green, chased by Melville Priest still, and here comes Donovan Roscoe, and Dave Beattie slows down. Dave Beattie slows down. Must have some kind of a problem with the engine or the transmission possibly. Seemingly all of a sudden he lost power, so that's a pity for Dave Beattie, who did so well in the previous race. He finished in fifth place, so he's not going to get such a good result in this race. Although he's still going, it seems like he's just limping a little bit. Alan Eve though, still in third place. He's got all his sights aimed at Neil Lobb in second place. This is the complex part of the track, and it is also a pretty complex piece of racetrack. You've got to get your balance absolutely right into those corners. Here comes Donovan Roscoe, and he's not going to find it that easily to get past Melville Priest. Priest is a hard racing driver. He does not allow anybody any leeway at all. Doesn't make mistakes a lot of often. And some smoke coming out of that car. Crowd at East London, a packed East London circuit has been treated to great motor racing, such as this action in Beacon Bend, as Donovan Roscoe and Melville Priest just has some contact coming out of Beacon Bend, the final bend. You can see the wind blowing in the background. This does definitely affect the aerodynamics, the airflow of these cars, and you get a benefit actually from it if you are trailing the car behind you. So Melville Priest fighting hard to hold onto that position. On the final lap, just about half a lap to go. Bernard Talanis has already won once so far this season. Is it going to be his second victory? Does seem so. He's not prone to making mistakes. Neil Lobb will be pretty happy with that second position after his victory in the first race, although he did complain afterwards that he would actually like to have seen the checkered flag. He crossed the line, of course, under a red flag. So he says, no, I still need to see the checkered flag. But the man who's going to see the checkered flag for the umpteenth time in his career is that man there, Bernard Talanis, a former South African drivers champion. He's going to take the victory, second of the season. And in fact, looking at the championship positions, the fact that George Ferreira, the reigning champion, is not here is going to shake up the order along with today's results. Neil Lobb should go to the front of the pack in terms of the overall points position. But Bernard Telanis is the man of the moment, and he is extremely happy, as you can see, with that victory. There's confirmation. Telanis takes it from Lobb, Alan Eve, Francois Gerber in fourth. Donovan Roscoe recovers to fifth place and sets a new lap record in the process. He finished ahead of Alan Green, Richard Wood, Trevor Frost, Steve De Silla and Melville Priest.
Well, Bernard, you had a point to prove in the second race.
Oh, absolutely. I had a point to prove. Neil, unfortunately, had a cracked disc in the first heat. And when he got next to me going into the complex there, it locked up and he locked the fronts and then knocked me off. It wasn't intentional, it was pure an accident. So he changed the disc between the two heats. And I thought, now I got a point to prove here. And I sussed the start out here and I got it right and I got it absolutely perfect. I was side by side with Francois into Potters on the inside and I thought, well, we're going to see who's going to give way here. And I said, I ain't giving way, and I just went. And then he tried to outbrake me into the complex and he went straight, and it made life a little bit easier for me. And yeah, I slowly caught Neil and got a nice tow from him because he made a mistake in Beacon. Nice tow down the straight, and I outbraked him into Cochabamba. And from then on, it was all the way to the flag, thank goodness.
Second win of the year?
Yes, second win of the year. Don't know where I'm in the championship at the moment because of the first heat finish, but hopefully I'm second now, I think, because I think Neil would be first.
So great action on the track. The East London crowd would have been entertained to their maximum. Unfortunately, that accident marred it a little bit, but fortunately, on the other hand, no serious injuries to anybody.